Good day, everyone. I am James Majestad, your host for today, and welcome to our first ever Group C question and answer. Today, we have 9 lovely students from the University of Mindanao. Each of them will be given different questions and 1 minute to answer them. Are you ready? Yes, you are. And because of that, let's begin. Good luck, students.
What is international organization?
International organization is also known as international institution or intergovernmental organization. An international organization is a stable of standards and laws that control the behavior of the nations and other parties in the international system. Member nations make up the majority of international organizations. But other entities, such as international organization, may also be included. Observer status can also be granted to entities including nations.
Discuss the power of international organizations.
The international organizations is a phenomenon that is being disputed by means of arguing the international power of politics. It depends upon its function and competencies for decision-making authority. Compromising by 3 or more states with formal procedures, its power shifts in its specific functions.
Can you give us an example of international organization?
Well, I can say that United Nations is an example of international organization created in 1945 by 51 countries in the wake of Second World War. Because of its commitment to international peace and security, friendship between the nation and social progress, since United Nations aims at preventing future wars and succeeded in an effective League of Nations, this organization can act on a range of issues because of the unique international character and their protestors enshrined in the founding charter, and provide a forum through the General Assembly, the Security Council, the Economic and the Social Council, and other committees and its 193 members state to express their views.
What are the organs of the United Nations, and what are their differences? There are 5 organs of United Nations where they have a different task to do during the assembling. First, the General Assembly, which comprising all member states and provide all unique forum for multilateral discussion of the full spectrum of international issues covered by the Charter of the United Nations. Second, the Security Council, to determine when and where a UN peace operation should be deployed. And third, the Economic and Social Council, the heart of the United Nations system to advance the 3 dimensions of sustainable development: economic, social, and environmental. Fourth, the International Court of Justice is the principal of judicial organ of the United Nations. And lastly, the Secretariat carries out the substantive and administrative work of the United Nations as directed by the General Assembly, the Security Council, and the other group.
State the difference between state and non-state regionalism.
State regionalism is concerned with countries' collaboration. State regionalism is a government base, whereas non-state regionalism is based on the nation and citizen. So non-state regionalism is not a government base, but it does work with it to maintain and create a specific advocacy. So to summarize the difference between the two kinds of regionalism, state regionalism primarily a government base or governmental groups. On the other hand, non-state regionalism is a citizen-based or nation-based, or it more focuses on the perspective of citizen or individual's power.
What is NATO?
Well, during the Cold War, I think around 1949, the United States and 11 other Western nations were prompted to form NATO, or the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. to stop the further expansion of communism. Although some may argue that NATO, or at least the idea of it, actually started in 1947 in March 4, when France and UK signed the Treaty of Dunkirk for alliance and mutual assistance. Some members of NATO that I can remember are Belgium, Canada, France, Greece, Iceland, Poland, Italy, Montenegro, Norway, Spain, and United Kingdom, and controversially, the United States. These countries agree on the idea of liberalism. However, they lack the military power to fend off the communists. Therefore, they allowed the United States to join the organization. But now their alliance depends on the military power of the US.
What is OPEC?
OPEC stands for Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, and it is essentially a group of countries that have oil to export. This group is consisting of 14 world's major oil exporting countries. The issue previously was that each of oil exporting countries have different method of extracting oil, and as a result, each has a varied price. OPEC was created in 1960 to control the price of oil in the global market. The primary purpose is to manage the price of oil in the global market. Inside in the OPEC organization, there are 7 companies who controls the global production and price of oil in the world market. And lastly, OPEC plays a big role in global oil politics because who controls the oil can also control the world.
What is NAM? NAM is Non-Aligned Movement, and there are 120 countries members. It is an international policy of sovereign state and it does not align with any of the power blocs. NAM is actively participates in the world affairs to pursue world peace. The founding father of NAM is the President of Yugoslavia, Josip Broz Tito, and the President of Egypt, Gamal Abdel Nasser, and the Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru. NAM is officially born in 1961 in Belgrade, in Yugoslavia. In the first session at Belgrade started 25 members, and every 3 years they have a NAM conference. Now, the headquarters of NAM is in central Jakarta, Indonesia. And today, the NAM is the second largest global organization next to United Nations organizations.
What is ASEAN? ASEAN is the short name for Association of Southeast Asian Nations. ASEAN established on August 8, 1967 by the 5 countries Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand. These countries promote political and economic cooperation and economic stability. ASEAN are focused on political security, economic, and social culture, and to accelerate the economic growth, social progress, and culture development in the region, and to promote regional peace. Thank you.
Wow! Very well said. Some very brilliant students indeed. Well, Fox, that's all the time we have for today's show. Just don't forget to click and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, see you!